Okay, let's head off on our secret unannounced adventure. Just as you can find a new adventure and a new love after your first marriage, so can you find a new life in a foreign land. For me, for now, it's South America. My name is Lauren Lau, and this is my adventure in Gran, Colombia. But it was time to take the trip to Ibague, which is actually pronounced Ibague. Needs that little mark over the last syllable. So here I am getting on the bus. This bus is supposed to be really comfortable, and it's sort of is, but the seats are a little too close together. Now you can see here the view of Armenia and Calarca as you're climbing up the hill. This road is really serpentine. It's really winding, and a good portion of this between Cajamarca and Calarca, it's called La Linea, the line. And it's not because of the road, and the road certainly isn't straight, it's really windy. But it's called that because of the mountain range that runs across that this road has to go up and over. Here I'm showing you the entertainment center in the seat, and quick rundown of the map of where I'm going. And the first quarter of that is La Linea. And that trip was, as you can see, 3 hours. So anyway, this La Linea, it refers to the mountains. And this road has to go up these steep grades, up and over this mountain. And the grades are actually more than trucks, semi-trucks are rated for. So it's a really difficult trek for them. The roads are really not wide enough. They're not dangerous just per se, but and the roads are actually quite good. But it's limited, and the steep turns and mostly the grades. Because of the grades, it's 4 times the accident rate of the rest of Colombia. So what are they doing? They've been building a tunnel. And this tunnel, which it's been postponed 3 times for completion, will be done next year in December, supposedly. It's over 5 miles long, and it's going to cut off a lot of that grade. It's going to shave off about an hour of travel time, actually for semis an hour and a half. You could see here, as I was rambling on, I arrived in Ibague. This is the Airbnb apartment, and I'm showing you the little neighborhood that it's in. That little girl was cute. She kept torturing her brother with this stuffed animal. So I jump in the taxi after I get all settled in, and I'm going to go to check out some of the city, see what's going on. And of course you have to go to the El Centro, and you have to go to the commercial districts. But in the taxi along the way, you get a good sense of what the city is about. And I will say that it's got more than its share of poor. It's got more than its share of ghettos, of just crappy areas, and some very dangerous areas. On the other hand, you can see that this city that historically has been a poor city, there's a lot of new growth going on. The economy in Colombia is strong and getting stronger. And it's good to see it spreading to places like Ibague that have been depressed for so long. Here you got a Venezuelan trying to earn a few bucks doing the squeegee thing. Yes, it happens in Colombia also. Now I'm arriving in the downtown area. You got a little park that I go back through later. And what better than to check out Simon Bolivar Park. In Colombia, every single city and burb has it was a Simon Bolivar Park, and no exception here. And it's usually the center of things. It's where things happen. So this is a map of where I went across the city and got to this park. And so now I take a walk around this park, and because, you know, there's only so much park you could see, I hope you don't mind, I sped it up 2 and 3 times. So even though I've got a stabilizer, you see it bounce up and down a little bit there. Very pretty park. A lot of people, you know, kind of go there and chill, and a lot of people meet at that park. This was in the morning before things really happened. I was looking for a cup of coffee and couldn't find anything. So went to Dunkin' Donuts. Yeah, it's pretty good coffee. It's not what I was looking for, and it's overpriced, but, you know, it served its purpose. So I had the coffee. Now I'm going to go back and walk through Bolivar Park. So let's have me shut up for a moment, and let's just take a look at this. I have to say there was a fair amount of traffic for being early in the morning. You see these cement racks, and I'll discuss that as we come back around the park. But it's your typical South American park. I heart Ibague. How clever, the B is a heart. You find this type of thing in every city. Who would have thought it'd become so popular when they did the I Love New York? And right back there you saw the Wi-Fi sign. What is nice about this park is it not only has the free Wi-Fi, which is typical, but it also has charging stations. So you can go up and plug in your phone charger and charge your phone up. And I really, really like that. It's hot here. It is hot. This time in the morning is about 9 o'clock. It was already about 90 degrees, and I really enjoyed that fountain because there was a little bit of wind going on, and it, blowing some of the water from that fountain, it cooled me down. This place is not the kind of hot that I like. Now, I know a lot of people love it, and if you do love it, then I could actually recommend this city as a place to live. It's definitely off the beaten path. Of course, we've got Simon Bolivar. It's his park after all. And, a few other typical statues. There's some really nice areas, and, this tree was amazing. It is huge. You're not going to get it in this video, but I think you see a person. It's out of context. You'd have to have somebody standing next to it. This tree is just gigantic. And of course, if you got a park, you got a playground, and kids are awesome. So, got to show that. So now we're going to take a walk down and around to Conservatory. Now this city is also, it's like the Nashville of Colombia. This is Music City. It's famous for music. And it's got this conservatory that is immense. It just goes on and on and on. It's gigantic. And I'll pan down one end of it a little bit later here in this video. But as you're walking around this, conservatory that we're coming up to, you really start to appreciate the size. I wanted to get a shot inside, because inside, oh my God, it's got a huge open courtyard, and the courtyard it's like the Garden of Eden in there. It's just stunning. It's just gorgeous. But of course, saw the camera and it's like, no, it's not going to happen. So here's this little music park that I understand they put on music presentations, little concerts. A very kind of an informal thing. You see the seats here, but a lot of little statues around. It's a cute little park, and it's right next to the conservatory. And the building on the left and the right are part of the conservatory. And this one that we're looking at right now that doesn't look all that long, but going the other direction, it goes on and on forever. That's the one that's got the Garden of Eden paradise courtyard. And I missed it. There was somebody up there playing a cello that was really nice. And wouldn't you know it, by the time I got the camera going, they stopped and walked inside. Yeah, that's how it goes. So now we're gonna go for a stroll and walk back through the center. And then we're gonna walk to a commercial district. I don't mean the mall, I mean the commercial district like in Manizales or in Armenia, like many places in Colombia where the cars don't go and it's just sidewalk. Now we're not here yet. This is still Bolivar Park. Some university students that were sitting around debating one topic or another. And here's these stands, and you see the bikes in it. These are the kind of bikes that you rent. So you got a little kiosk here, and you pay for an hour, pay for the day, and then you just take the bike and ride it wherever you're going. And they have these stations in various places around the city. It's tried and failed in some markets. It's tried and been successful in others. Here, it's relatively new from what I was told, but it's doing pretty well. And what we're looking at here is there was a wedding going on. And I turned the sound off because it was so obnoxious. There's just horns, beep, beep. I mean, it's really loud and obnoxious. But this church, typical, huge and gorgeous church, very ornate inside, and that's where the wedding took place. Now, I will say that I was being shown around Ibague by a friend of mine. Her name is Chris. I met her about a year and a half ago in Cali. And it turned out she heard my accent, and knew that I was English speaking, and she just came up to just say hello and practice her English, which is pretty common. And we actually got into a conversation, and I told her I was going to Armenia. And she said, "Oh, really? I go through Armenia. I've got good friends there. I'm going to stop and visit." And I said, "Yeah, I've got friends too." And it turned out that we both have friends with the same people. So we ended up riding, her and her girlfriend. They were on vacation actually. We ended up riding on the bus together and spent 2 days there, I think it was, together, as I showed them around Armenia, and then they had to go back to home. And here's one of the parks, little touristy. It's got some trinket kiosks, but this park is connected to the one across the road, and there's a tunnel under that bridge that those two parks are connected. Okay, so we checked out the two parks, and we're just walking through the town, and as Chris is showing me the various highlights. These are all safe places to go. There's no real issue here. She was sure to point out, okay, you don't want to go here, you don't want to go there, you don't want to go there. Crime is pretty serious, but it does tend to stay in its own area, which is kind of sad because it's really poor preying on the poor. I mean, that's where most crime comes from. So here we come up to another park, and this lady here is posing. It was funny. She kept posing in different spots. And, of course, it had the I Heart Ibague sign, so you could pose. So we walk up here, and a little incident happened we'll get to shortly. Guy was, he was waving and saying hi, and he was trying to ham for there you go. He was trying to ham for the camera, and I actually missed it because Chris and I were having a conversation, and it just kind of blew by me until I was actually even with him, and he was saying, he was saying, "Welcome to Ibague," and I just kind of ignored him. I felt bad about that. Now, what you see actually is they're setting up, because in a couple days, as I was doing this video, in a couple days, that weekend, that fin semanas, that weekend, there was a big festival. And so you see here in the city, various things they're being prepared, in particularly that space. A lot of preparation going on. Lots and lots of noise. There was some people making announcements about the festival that's coming, and you had some musicians playing. So here we're at the beginning. We're walking through this commercial area, the walking street commercial area I was talking about, and it's got your stores all over the place. It's not a residential thing, and you can just kind of walk there and find everything that you want. It's a nice, clean, safe area. You'll see as we walk, there's quite a few police here and there. There was actually Colombian Marine Corps. There was a few of those guys there. You don't see them too often. I remember when I was in the Marine Corps training with a couple of the Marine Corps out of Colombia, and they're pretty badass. So you've got casinos, you've got clothing stores, you've got banks, and as you can see, no cars come through here. It would have been pleasant if it wasn't so hot, but I will say, from the far end, there's mountains, and you could see to the mountains, so there's kind of a straight shot, and there was at least a breeze. Yeah, here, touristy gringos. I mean, talk about stand out. It was so funny. If you're wearing a safari hat and safari shorts and a backpack, I mean, you're a tourist. So here, unlike other parts of the city, there was some breeze. But then again, I think we got up to about 95. This, I think, was around 10 o'clock. And the temperature just kept going up and up and up. And I said, is this a particularly hot day? And she said, no, actually, it's kind of a cooler day. She said, oh my God. So I looked, and there's a lot of over 100-degree days, but it's amazing what altitude will do. It's about 4,000 feet here. We're in Armenia, we're 5,400 feet. But it has also to do with the mountain layout. In Armenia, we're on the edge of the mountain that is facing the ocean, and there's just breezes that come up from the ocean and go up and over mountain ranges, and that air cools off, and that's that constant breeze that I get. Here you don't have that. There's too many mountain ranges. They don't reach inland to these. As a matter of fact, that La Linea, the highest pass there is over 10,000 feet. Now here, this was pan de yuca. Grandecitos. In other words, they're huge. I had never seen pan de yuca this big. And if you look at the bottom one there, look at that. It's like a double one stuck together. So I bought one of these. And then everything got so busy, I completely forgot. She put it in her bag, and I completely forgot it, so I never got to eat it. It looked delicious, really light and airy, fluffy. It looked delicious. Okay, so we're at the end now of that walking commercial area. Getting in the taxi. There's my friend Chris, holding my bag that I just bought. And now we went to get a juice. And from that patio, I'm looking at a huge actual mall, commercial mall. So we finished the juice, and now we're going to walk across to this mall. See or no? Store. This is the end of the mall, but of course it's got an entrance, and then I'll pan up the side. You can't really see, it's a pretty long mall. There, you can see up there. Okay. Colombia is mall crazy. They love malls, and you're going to find new modern malls just about everywhere you go. Every city has its share. I mean, we've got a number of them here in Armenia. As I've mentioned, I live within a 10-15 minute walk of 3 of them. I'm kind of in the center. I like Subway. Yeah, you've got a Subway, you've got a Payless Shoes. Payless Shoes, it's extremely popular here. They're Payless. Seems strange to me, but it's just how it is. So you're going to go through here in the mall, and you're going to see brand names or marcas. You're going to see brand names that some will be familiar and some you've never heard of. This Bata is a very popular, famous chain of kind of upscale, nice clothes, shoes. I suppose it'd be like a Macy's, possibly. And of course, you've got new cars for sale everywhere inside the mall. It's typical. I mean, you might as well be in Topeka, Kansas, or Los Angeles. I mean, it's just your run-of-the-mill mall. People love to come here, walk around. It's air conditioned. You know, sit down, have an ice cream cone. So you've seen one mall, you've seen them all. Okay. I had to do it, but now it's time to jump in the taxi and head back home. Doing the video clips, I had 58 video clips, and this typically would have taken me maybe 9 or 10 hours, so, over the course of 2 days. But with her help, we were out 4 or 5 hours. Okay. And right here is the corner of the street going up to where I'm staying. And this barrio, very nice, pleasant barrio, kind of old-fashioned, older style housing, but very safe, very friendly. And that street that we just turned from, there's got to be 8-10 restaurants within 2 and 3 blocks there. That's pretty simple. It's fully equipped. It's got blender and a waffle maker and dishes and pans, little refrigerator, nice bathroom with hot water. So, this is what, I'm paying with my discount, $9 for a night. 2 nights, $18. It includes all the fees and room cleaning, etc. This was one of our lunches at the restaurant that was 2 blocks from that apartment. It's quite good. I went back there for dinner. It's actually a Mexican restaurant at night, and it was delicious. Here I am at the terminal. Had to wait a little bit, 20 minutes for the bus, so I sat there at a Dunkin' Donuts and had a cup of coffee. This was the next morning. And this is just some beautiful land. You see how terraced it is. So much of this land is worked by people. It doesn't just sit idle. So that's it. Catch you next time.